What's up, everybody in Know It All land? You are in tune to the Know It All podcast, and as always, I got my player partners with me. Big Tate, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, Mod? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Can't complain. Getting over a little bit of illness the past week, but I say,
Glad to have you.
I
Glad to
say,
have you back with us. I know that was rough, man. And Big G, man, how you doing this week, man?
Man, you know how I feel right now, man. You see the representation, man. It ain't even nothing to talk about, man. You see what time it is. Man, let's just get to it, man. You know how I feel right now. It's that
Man,
time.
when both teams win, it's nothing better than that feeling. But man, before we get into that, we're gonna definitely get into this. And once again, man, we here and we gonna talk a lot of sports, a lot of culture. You're gonna get some shop talk from us, man. And first and foremost, we've got one of the biggest things going on is the World Series. Before we actually get to college and pro football, we got the World Series going on. The Braves have not won a World Series title since 1995, and they are up 3-1 on H-Time. Now, I'm torn. I'm very torn, you guys, because of the simple fact that I love the Braves. The Braves, my favorite baseball team, but I always cheer for Texas teams, man. And seeing Houston, man, they always got a chance. Houston's one of those teams whose backs always come alive when their back is against the door. But I don't know, man. These Braves pitching is really, really solid and really, really good, man. You can't help but cheer for Dusty Baker. And you want to see them get one, man. How you guys feel about Game 5 tonight? What you think's gonna happen, Big G?
It's over with. Going for the Braves, bro. It's over with. They got their number, man. Really, to be honest, I wanted the Braves. Matter of fact, I wanted anybody that was up against the Astros to win. Just to be honest. I know Dusty Baker came and righted the ship, and he gave him some validity to what went on the year prior with all the shenanigans and them cheating like they ain't no tomorrow. So I felt a little bit bad because I always have liked Dusty Baker as not just a player, but as a coach. But it's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. Atlanta could possibly win back-to-back pennants, really, to be honest. With all the trades that they made to basically change their whole outfield and everything. And the one thing I really like about the Braves is their coaching staff, man. They have former players that are out there coaching them boys up and basically telling them, you just be you, man. You just be you and play the way you're supposed to play and win. So I like Atlanta, but I think I have more dislike for Houston, outside of Dusty Baker.
What you think, Tate, man? Give it to me, man. Who you think win tonight?
well, I think Atlanta gonna win the series. I don't think they take it tonight though. Houston got 3 games that they place. I think they're gonna win 1 or 2, and Atlanta not gonna let them win 3. So I think Atlanta gonna win the series. I'm rooting for Dusty Baker. I'm kind of with Big on the whole Houston take, but for me it was bigger than the Houston take because Dusty Baker was brought in to kind of give him credibility and turn that chip around, and that's what he's done. With some of the same crooked Pirates, he's turned the chip around.
Yeah.
But 3-1 is tough to come back from. But Dusty Baker, man, he's HOF. You know what I mean? He's the only manager. He got more wins than any manager never win a World Series. He's the only manager to win 5 division titles with 5 different teams.
Correct.
As a player, he's a Hall of Famer. Dusty Baker's that dude, that OG.
He's
man.
that dude.
Yeah.
He's that dude. And the thing about the Stros, man, is that and to G's point, I'm gonna tackle that here in a minute. But the thing about the Stros is they play the best when their back is against the wall.
Yeah,
they really do. When they have to win, that's when they win. And I don't understand how it is. Even if you look at the games, they got to get behind 1-2 runs before their bats wake up. But Atlanta's pitching, to Sean's point, Big G's point, Atlanta's pitching staff has been remarkable. I mean, these boys is throwing heat, they throwing strikes, and they getting the usual Astros bats to pop up. They're popping up you see all of these pop-ups, and that's just because they got them off balance. Anytime you see a whole bunch of pop-ups and foul outs and ground outs, that's because they got your batters off balance, and these guys are not finding a lot of the connectivity, where meanwhile the Stros pitching is not so. The Atlanta's teeing off on them boys, and you saw it with back-to-back home runs. So I do think Atlanta, it has the advantage, but we're going back to H-Town, so anything can happen. I'm just gonna say this is a series where anything can happen. I am pulling for Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker is that dude, and but I like I said, I'm torn. So now when we get, man, we're gonna start looking at college football this weekend, man. We had some big games on tilt this weekend. We had Georgia versus Florida. We definitely had a nail biter in Cincinnati, and we had Oklahoma, and Oklahoma didn't have too much of a hard time. They actually got Spencer Rattler back in the game. We'll talk about that. But then we had Michigan State. Whew. And then we had Ohio State, Penn State. Let's tackle that Ohio State Penn State game right now. This being the best defense that we saw the Buckeyes have faced in a couple weeks, man. And I'm gonna tell you, it was a physical game, but the Buckeyes kind of manhandled that defense. Them linebackers for Penn State are very physical, man. What'd you think about the game as you was watching it yesterday, Tate?
Man, I think Ohio State finally had a defensive test. I had a couple friends text me, with anxiety and stuff. I said, relax. This is an elite defense. You know what I mean? I mean, probably, and I still stick to it, when everybody's healthy and everything's clicking on their defense, probably second or third only to Georgia, Yeah. So, but I knew over time Ohio State's big playmakers and, their receivers and Trayvon Henderson, CJ Stroud, something would click. They weren't going to be able to hold them that long. And 37 points is a lot of points against the Penn State defense. Might be the most points scored against them this year.
Yeah.
A lot of points. What'd you think, Big G?
Oh, I'm riding with Tate, and even more so to echo what he said. I mean, Ohio State played probably not that great. I would give them maybe a B- offensively, and they still put up 37. You got to remember, they went down in that red zone a whole bunch of times and walked away with either 3 or none. So they could have easily put 50 to 60 up on them. And they have an elite defense. So only thing I'm really worried about first of all, let me say this. I will say that I am proud of the fact that they have made the changes that they needed to make on defense to play the game that they needed to play. Clifford threw for a lot of yards, but when I'm telling you they locked that running game down and they was punishing Clifford, they hit Clifford 4, 5, 6 times and made him either drop it, where that big cage cat picked it up and ran it back for a touchdown, or they made him throw a pick or a bad pass. So defense.
Could you outrun Cage, Big G?
Oh yeah, I don't know about now, but back in the day, I'd tear him up. Maybe not now. I'd be hurting a little bit, but 10 years ago, I'd have blazed him. Beat him by 2 steps, maybe 3.
I don't know, man. Cage got out when he scooped and score. He got out.
I saw that bot. I saw they clocked him. It was like
they clocked him. It took about 9. Took about 9 to go 50.
Yeah, I'd have dusted him. I'd have smoked him. About 10 years ago. But he was out. And so like I said, the defense, and I really like the way that them youngsters, man, is playing on defense, man. You know, some of them young cats.
I think that's the thing, Big G. I think they did change the personnel, change the play caller on defense, but it's just a matter of repetition and continuity that's going on with some of those young players that in the early game, they didn't have no college level experience. Now they're gonna play some big primetime games, some big Big Ten games, and I anticipate they're only gonna get better because I think Michigan State may be the strongest offense they got left on the schedule.
Yeah.
And I think even the defense don't have a great game, they still outscore everybody for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing. I think they made the defense simpler because you can see they keeping everything in front of them. The defensive backs are keeping everything in front of them, and they're just reading and react.
They're playing a lot more zone instead of man-to-man and blitzing everybody and then getting hit, getting hit, getting beat man on man, blocker on blocker, giving up big plays. Now they can react and come up and tackle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. Now, one thing I will say about Penn State linebackers, bro, Penn State linebackers are phenomenal. G pointed out something that they're young. a lot of their stars are young, man. Porter being young, definitely the defensive back being a sophomore. This is a young team.
Number 17, number 16, number 5. They all some dogs.
Well, they probably got the best corner tandem in the country too. Joey Porter Jr. and the dude on the other side. I forgot his number, but he a beast.
Number five, a beast. And he's a sophomore.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. To me, when I look at it, that Penn State is their diesel. And I told you, I said last week, I said, man, look, we're gonna find out who's for real against Michigan and Michigan State. One thing I do have sidebar: you got 2 Heisman candidates on that Ohio State team, and we got to see how that's gonna shake out. C.J. Stroud and the running back.
You think Stroud is a Heisman? You think Stroud is a Heisman?
As long
contender?
as they keep, they love
Vegas had him 3 before yesterday, but I think he might have fell off a little bit yesterday. But he got some big games in front of him though too.
Yeah, he keep winning. He keep winning. C.J. Stroud may be the forerunner, one of the forerunners for that Heisman. But I told you we were gonna find out who was for real. Michigan State, and I wasn't disappointed with Michigan's loss. It wasn't a bad loss for them, man. I mean, go ahead, Tate.
I was going to say, you're right. I absolutely agree with you. But it's Harbaugh's loss, though. Michigan can take that L. The program, we still, 7-1. We still probably ranked in the top 10. But Harbaugh keep losing big games to big teams. He got a losing record against Michigan State. He never beat Ohio State. I saw something in the news earlier that said he got the worst record of any coach played 10 games minimum against top 10 teams. He has the worst record.
Wow.
A 182 percentage.
Wow, that is horrible. And one thing I can say is that running back from Michigan State, having put my eyes on him, best running back in college football. The boy's nice. He is nice. His feet is fast. He can run. And I'm interested to see what he's gonna do. When he run across Ohio State defense, Penn State defense. I'm interested to see how the guy's gonna handle it.
See, the thing is though,
if the season ended today, he'd win the Heisman. If the season ended today.
The thing is with that matchup though, and it's coming up in like 3 weeks, is that they got that Ohio State gonna load up against the running game and try and stop him as they should, but that quarterback. And they got a couple receivers, number 1 and number 8. I mean, they scored some points against the Hurricanes this year. They can score some points. I don't think they can score as many points as Ohio State will score against their defense, but it still can be a matchup.
And that's crazy. That's crazy you say that. The quarterback and the wide receiver, I think it was number 1, been playing together since the 7th grade year in middle school. That is crazy. I was like, that is cool. To have, a guy who you can trust that you've been playing and y'all know each other. It's kind of like Jamar Chase and,
Joey
quarterback for the Bengals. I forget his name.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, yeah. And so when we move on and we start looking at the rankings yesterday, man, one of the things that got ugly early was Cincinnati. Cincinnati was ugly early, but it's like I told G, championship team is gonna have ugly wins, 1 or 2 ugly wins during the season. An ugly win is still a win. It just is what it is. You survive to play another game. Everybody's gonna give you their best shot, and hey, you just got to get it. So now we see Cincinnati sitting at number 2. What do you guys think about that? I know this was Tate's preseason pick for being here.
Name the top 5 real quick. Just run them down real quick.
Top 5 is Georgia, Cincinnati at number 2, Alabama 3, Oklahoma at number 4, Michigan State at number 5, Ohio State at number 6, Oregon at number 7. Ohio State?
Yep.
Wow. Yep. Okay. I hadn't looked at that yet today. I was waiting for the Tuesday, college football playoff poll.
Well, I mean, Michigan State.
I'm gonna tell you something. I think that when the initial poll is dropped, I don't think Cincinnati will be in the top 4. When the initial college football playoff poll is dropped, I don't think Cincinnati will be in the top 4. I think when they go to initial poll, I think strength on schedule. And I'm going to say this too. Ohio State might not be in the initial top 4. I think the initial top 4 might be, I'm serious now. I think the initial top 4 is going to be Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Oregon. I think the initial top 4, and I think Ohio State will be 5th. Because the playoff committee is going to look at head-to-head, who beat who and how. Oregon still only got 1 loss. So but I'm a realist as far as a Buckeye fan. Well, I really do believe.
I don't think their strength of schedule is as good as some of the other teams either, though. They got
That's good. I like your 4 picks, right? So who's your 2 out? Since you already gave us your 4, give us your first 2 out.
All right, so I'm going to go Georgia 1. I'm going to say Georgia 1. I'm going to say Bama 2. I'm going to say Oklahoma 3 and Oregon 4. First 2 out, Ohio State, Michigan State. And then Cincinnati 7. Because strength of schedule is going to put them in position to where if they win out, they're going to automatically get in anyway. So Ohio State fans shouldn't panic if the initial poll are not in the top 4. But I think that Cincinnati has no way in. The doomsday scenario for college football is this. If Oregon wins out and wins their thing, Oklahoma wins out and wins their thing, Alabama wins out, Georgia wins out, and Ohio State wins out, and Cincinnati wins out. You have 6 teams that can legitimately make it.
It would be impossible.
Alabama and Georgia can't win out.
Yeah, they can't win out.
Right, but if Bama wins out and Georgia's undefeated and Bama pops Georgia in the SEC championship game, they're going to try to figure out how to get Georgia in that playoff. So that's what I'm saying. That if you got those 6 teams.
Rightly so, but, you got the 14 playoff. And so, Tate, before I give mine, what's your 4 and who's the first 2 out?
My 4 is Georgia, Alabama, Cincinnati, Ohio State. First 2 out, Michigan State, Oklahoma.
That's good. But I can almost agree with everything. I just feel like, Sean, Cincinnati's strength of schedule, once they start looking at it, they're not going to give it no type of respect. And I don't know if they're going to have any way in. So for me, it's like Georgia.
Y'all forget Cincinnati got a win against Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, right? I get, but that's you're gonna have to beat a SMU team that is going to stay ranked to the end of the year. So I mean, maybe that's going to bump them up, but I still don't think SMU will fall out of the SMU. Are they even in the poll? I think they fell out. No, they didn't.
I think they're not even in the poll.
They're 24.
They're 24.
Houston is at 20, and SMU's at 23. So they lost to SMU lost to the number 20 team. You know what I mean? But here's my four. My four is Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan State. First two out. Oklahoma and Cincinnati. You know, I think
we just flipped around Cincinnati and Michigan State there.
Right. So and that's why I said I totally agree with what you're saying. My thought process here is Cincinnati's gonna have to win out and then hope that one of these other teams drop one. I know Oklahoma's gonna drop one. That Oklahoma's pretenders. I can tell y'all that without a shadow of a doubt. Even with Williams in there, he makes them tougher to beat, but they got two hard tests still at the end of the year. Oklahoma State and Baylor. They still got to play them back to back. And I promise you.
And Iowa State.
I think they played Iowa State. Have they played Iowa State?
No, they play Iowa State. They play Baylor. They got a bye week this week. Right. They got a bye week this week. They play Baylor, then they play Iowa State in the middle, and then they play Okie State at the end.
That's a rough road. Bedlam, even if they go undefeated in the Bedlam, I don't know. I don't know that they come out of Bedlam, but you know what I'm saying? I just don't know. And then when of
all the teams in everybody's six, Oklahoma looked the most vulnerable to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But y'all, the only thing I don't agree with y'all with, man, is that you got to put some respect on Oregon, man. Oregon popped us. And they lost to UCLA. That's it. You got to put some.
No, they lost to Stanford.
They lost to Stanford.
That's it.
But
that's it. They don't pop everybody else.
But they played a couple other close games. The thing about that is, we just said about Ohio State had the wrong defensive play caller. They had a bunch of freshmen. Well, freshmen should have been playing, but people playing early in their careers in game 2 of the year, and they win by 1 touchdown. You know what I mean? So it was a good win, but I mean the rest of their schedule is not about nothing. They still got to play Utah and BYU.
And that is the same thing that Cincinnati will suffer from, is the strength of schedule. Everybody else got to play dogs. You got to play dogs to get there. Ohio State got to play Michigan State and Michigan to get there. You know what I'm saying? You look at Alabama.
Hey, and you better not sleep on Purdue. Listen, you better not sleep on them.
I mean, Purdue's still out there.
Better play.
They beat Iowa, who's overrated, and turned around, lost last week. And then they play Ohio State in 2 weeks. They're going to lose again if they don't lose next week.
And then when you look at it, Georgia still got A&M to play, don't they? Or did they play? No, they played A&M earlier, right? But they still.
The only thing, the SEC, let me explain this, man. The SEC is actually sort of smart. I know I've been screaming bias forever, but I don't like how they do at the end of the year, how them guys get 2 and 3 weeks out. They get a bye. Then they play a scrub squad. Like Alabama plays University of like North Texas or somebody like that who's a scrub. And then Georgia plays some scrub in between before they play their rivalry game against Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
so they're smart as far as scheduling.
But
one thing I've been screaming forever. Go ahead, Tate. Go ahead, man.
I just want to tell you that game you talking about, they play Charleston.
Yeah. Charleston. I mean, really? They some scrubs.
But still, yeah. They got the SEC championship game, so they're going to have to play Georgia or somebody. Is Georgia? Let me ask you this: Is Texas Tech? I mean, Texas A&M still on Georgia's schedule?
No, Georgia plays Missouri, Tennessee, Charleston, and Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm. They don't have no challenge. That's a clear road to
the
SEC championship. No challenge.
It's over.
So. But Michigan State, Ohio State, they all still got challenges. They still got challenges.
I think I said that Oklahoma is the most vulnerable, but I think the second most vulnerable is probably Michigan State.
No, they're definitely vulnerable.
They still got to play Penn State.
They're definitely vulnerable. They're definitely vulnerable. And you know the crazy thing is if Cincinnati and Cincinnati and Notre Dame end up with the same record, guess who they're going to take?
Notre Dame.
They would take Notre Dame.
But see,
Notre Dame.
This is what I'm interested to see. I ain't worried about the top 6, I want to see where Oregon, Utah, and Notre Dame are in the first poll. That's going to tell me the whole tale of the tape. Wherever Oregon, Notre Dame, and Utah are ranked in that first initial poll is going to tell me what time it is. Because Utah and Oregon got to play each other. They both got one loss. And then they'll turn around and probably play each other in the conference championship. So that's going to tell me what they decide. That's going to tell me what they think about the Pac-12. And then wherever Notre Dame is ranked in that initial poll is going to tell me a lot too. That'll tell me a lot about Cincinnati. If Notre Dame is 8 or higher, Cincinnati going to be in that top 4. If Notre Dame is 8 or higher.
I got Notre Dame somewhere around 9, maybe 10 at the lowest.
Yeah.
But Michigan State got Purdue, Maryland, Ohio State, and Penn State. They could lose 2 of them games.
Yeah.
They can lose 2 of them. They really can. And you got Wake Forest, who's 8-0. Let's talk about these 8-0 teams. Are they pretenders or contenders? We got Wake Forest, 8-0. We have another 8-0 team in UTSA. Can you believe that? UTSA? And they're ranked. University of Texas San Antonio is ranked number 16.
They beat Illinois. They got a Big Ten win on their resume.
It's crazy. And then that's the end of your 8-0 teams right now. You got your 9-0 Oklahoma, 8-0 Michigan State, and then Georgia. Those are your only unbeaten in college football right now. Oh, and Cincinnati. So, I mean, out of those, like I said, I mean, I feel it in my heart, Tate, and I really want Cincinnati to win that game, that SMU game. I want them to. I do. I just feel it in my heart. It's a trap game. Cincinnati got it marked on their calendar, and they know that they can get a good bowl game if they go out there and they handle their business against Cincinnati that day. And SMU is crying for a good. I mean, they still trying to bring their program back from the death penalty they got with the Pony Express. So this is a program that I think is going to be trying to bounce back and make a name for themselves against that Cincinnati team.
Yeah, well, you brought up about the undefeated teams. You don't got to worry about Wake Forest going to be undefeated. They 8-0 now?
Yeah,
8-0.
And they got a good quarterback, Sam Hartman. I think the reason why he's been around there for like 5 or 6 years. Remember the QB1 show on Netflix?
Yeah.
He was the first quarterback on that series that they showed with him.
Yeah, he's a redshirt senior. He's a redshirt senior.
Well, they got that extra COVID year, so college kids got that COVID year. So
and that's why some of these teams are doing really well. That's why Georgia's defense is so stout. They got a whole bunch of grown jokers on that defense, like 22, 23-year-olds playing against freshmen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Wake Forest got North Carolina next week. That could be a loss. Then they got NC State. That could be a loss. Then they got Clemson. That could be a loss. Then they got Boston College. That could be a loss.
Yeah, they got some rough ones up, man.
If they go 2-2 out that schedule and finish 10-2, they had a great season.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah. Wake definitely is. But I'm just because we didn't know it all. But can you imagine Walker on Wake's team? Because Walker's a transfer from Wake Forest, the running back from Michigan State. Can you imagine him?
Yeah.
Now, if he was down there, I'd be like, no, Wake Forest for real. But I don't see. I'm with Tate. I see him dropping maybe a game or two. I don't think they're gonna crack the top 10.
Yeah, man. So switching gears a little bit to the NFL, you guys, let's talk about the quarterbacks that have been knocked out and their backups are coming in, man. You saw the Jets backup come in White for their number 1 draft pick. And he put up a game today, actually beat the number 1 team in the AFC and the Cincinnati Bengals, who we were asking, are they for real? What do you think about this guy, man? One game wonder, one hit wonder, or bust? Is he somebody that when we get film on him, he ain't gonna do that again? He threw for over 400 yards today. What you guys think?
I think you want to go, Big G?
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
I think they came out. I think he's just the fact that he's more mature and more experienced, even though he don't have a lot of experience than what they was throwing out there with Zach Wilson. And then the game plan today, I'm sure the Bengals are like, we gonna stop the run and do all that. So the Jets came out and fooled everybody and came out air raid offense. You know what I mean? So yeah. I like Mike White, I think that's his name, over Zach Wilson. And I think if the Jets want to be competitive for the rest of the year, that's where they got to go. I mean, I think Zach Wilson was just kind of given the job because he was the number 2 pick. You know, I don't think he has done anything all year to even prove that, you know, that he deserves the job right now.
Yeah.
Agreed. What you think about that, Big G?
Well, the thing that really, like, they air raided today, but Tate knows this because, you know, we talked about this in the offseason. Something about when them rookie running backs get some time up underneath their belt, they really turn into who they are, right? And, you know, I was on Michael Carter in the offseason. No, rookie running backs.
You're talking about Michael Carter.
Michael Carter is turning into what he really is, just like Najee Harris is turning into what he really is. These kids are special, you know, and Michael Carter gives them a legit back, you know. What you said, Tate?
No, I said Williams
for Denver.
Yeah. It's something about when those rookie running backs are real, like when they're really NFL players, when they get past that like middle point in the season, they turn into what they really are. And Michael Carter gives them a legitimate threat. And let me just say this, any quarterback benefits from a solid running game.
Oh,
I don't care who you are.
Absolutely.
If you got a guy that you can give him the ball, even if he runs up the gut and picks up 2 or 3 yards, any quarterback benefits from a solid running back. Michael Carter had a good game, man.
Tate, let me ask you a question. What is the score on the New Orleans Tampa Bay game? And while you're looking that up, one of the things that I want to say is Jameis, he looked like he was all right running around doing some things, being effective, but he didn't put points on the board like this youngster. He put a 7 up, but the old Denver quarterback came and was putting up
29-27 Saints.
See?
With a minute 36 left and the GOAT got the ball.
Oh man, the GOAT got it. That spelled a loss.
It's over.
That's lost.
You don't even got to look. You don't even got to look at the score. It's over, man.
It's over.
It's over. He's going to get them within field goal range, and they're going to go in and going to kick the field goal and the game over.
You're probably right, but that Saints defense showed me a lot today. They're kind of rough.
They are kind of rough. I mean, but you still got Jordan. You still got the other linebacker jumping around with dreads. And I mean, those guys.
Demario Davis.
Yeah, number 22. Them guys is mean, man.
You got Lattimore.
Speaking of the
you know, hey, listen, let me tell y'all what just happened. Tom Brady just threw a pick 6.
Woo!
The GOAT
just threw a pick 6. I just watched it.
Yep, wow. It's 35-27.
The GOAT threw a pick 6.
An extra point to seal it.
Yep.
Yeah. No, 35-27.
They're going to kick it, go 36-27.
Yeah, it's 36-27. It's over.
Oh, yeah. 8 points. That's all they can go.
Patrick Williams, the corner, number 43, got an interception.
But you remember last year, Brady's first game against them, the same thing. He had problems against the Saints defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know why, though, right? Brady, when you put pressure in his face and he can't hold it, he can't pick you apart like he normally does. You know what I'm saying? Brady loves to hold it. He's smart, but he'll dump it off, but they'll keep going 3 and out. You know, and that's one thing that the Saints have been consistently doing today is putting pressure up in his face, not from the outside, but from the inside. And anytime you get inside pressure where a quarterback can't step up into the pocket, that spells trouble. And speaking of the Saints, man, they got Mark Ingram back. in a trade move. I think that was pretty big. I mean, you know, it's starting to happen, Big G. We're going to talk about this transition into trades, man. It's starting to happen. Houston's having a fire sale. I just really think that they should just really let it go. One of the things that, and I got to say this, know-it-all listeners, hear me and hear me well. When you have, it's just like what they have Deshaun Watson, they've charged him in this civil suit with 22 cases. All right, 22 times. That's a lot of people saying the same thing, right? In the Houston, Texas organization, you've got 10 of your most consistent African-American players saying the same thing about your organization. They don't want to play for you because it's plantation-like, right? So Andre Johnson, your most famous wide receiver, said the same thing. And at this point, you know, Deshaun Watson's reputation has been damaged by what's happening. It's alleged. We don't know if it's real or not. To even get some results on this whole thing, that, you know, after looking into the case, to get results, they can't even have the DA in Harris County has to convene the Supreme Court to actually get some results on this, because they can't make a actual ruling on it. The NFL hasn't ruled Deshaun Watson out, and Miami is really the head of Miami. I forget his name. The actual owner of Miami is going to the league trying to get assurances for Deshaun Watson. Oh, when we get him, can he play? So they're really serious about getting him. They're really serious about getting him. And Tua's not been doing bad, but here's my point, you guys. Here's my point. At this point, the Houston Texans just need to go and give it up, move on, because they're not going to get more for Deshaun Watson than what they're going to get right now. The price will continue to drop and drop and drop and drop, because realistically, nobody's going to want to pay a king's mortgage for him or a king's ransom for him after this trade deadline is up. What you guys think, man?
Tay, you got it. Go ahead.
Stephen Ross is the Dolphins owner, and he wants some assurances from the league and the Texans, depending on how, you know, the Deshaun Watson case ends. I mean, I think the thing to do, because in any move you make now, you're rushing into it. So I think the thing to do is, he's not playing anyway. Go ahead, keep him past the deadline. Maybe he gets acquitted. You know, maybe all those civil cases get thrown out, and then his value goes up from where it's at now, because you giving the legal process and the litigation time to sort itself out. Right now, that's up in the air. You don't know what it is. So I do agree with you. The value may not be higher than it is now, but I think I still rather wait and see if the value can still go up based off the outcome of the court proceeding.
Yeah. Because
at the very least, they're going to be one of the 2 or 3 worst teams in football, get a high draft pick. They can either come to draft time, they can trade Deshaun Watson for maybe a team with a late first round. If they get a late first round pick and a second, that's still good if you getting one of the top 1 or 2 picks this year coming. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you got to kind of be forward thinking and think strategically as far as, you know, organization, you know, kind of build and stuff like that, because they're gonna be bad anyway.
Yeah, I hear you. But G, you haven't lived in Texas, man, and knowing the lay of the land as far as Houston is concerned, man. Talk to me, man. Do you really honestly believe that all of this stuff that's going on with Deshaun Watson is it wasn't contrived by the organization, knowing how Houston, Texas organization get down? Do you believe that it's legit? I mean, talk to me.
Of course. Well, let me say this: when there's smoke, there's fire, right? But the issue is that why did it all come all of a sudden? This guy has not, as far as if you go back and vet him, like all the way back to high school, this is totally uncharacteristic of Deshaun Watson. From his time in high school, his time in college at Clemson, the first several years that he played at Houston. Where is this all coming from? So of course it smells political, just to be kind or G-rated. It's political.
Well,
however,
the McNairs is part of the good old boy network. The McNair family. They some good old Texas oil boys that man, the owner that passed away, but he's the one that said you can't let the inmates run the asylum.
That's exactly what he said.
And that's why I said I was cleaning, trying to be clean about it with a G-rated version of it, to say it was political. I could easily spin it and say it's racist, outright racist.
Well, Big However, G, I think what we do here, man, we try and keep it all the way 100 for the people, man.
Yeah,
keep it right.
It's outright racist. It's outright racist that they blackballing him as a black quarterback. This to me. I'm Colin Kaepernick in it. It's almost has the same feel. They blackballing him. They don't want him in the league because he stood up to them. And what they're pissed off about more than anything is that he's got a no trade clause, so he can tell them what he's going to do. However,
and that's the thing. That's the thing, right?
But I got another point. This is the point. I'm gonna say this, and this is my big G burner. If he gets traded, he will not go to the Miami Dolphins. If he gets traded, he's going to be traded to the Carolina Panthers. Sam Darnold got hurt today. For y'all that didn't know and didn't watch the game, Darnold got hurt. Darnold missed a substantial part of that second half versus Atlanta.
And they won, got their record back to 4-4.
Correct.
The Bucs lost, the Saints won, so they a little bunched up in there. So if they can get a quarterback that can play, they can be a viable threat to get a wild card somewhere.
Correct. And they sell tickets in Carolina because he's born and bred Clemson. Clemson and Carolina is right close to each other.
He would have to want to go there.
He wouldn't want to go home. Of course,
he would have to want to go there.
I think he want to go there and play for Joe Brady and the coach. What's their name? Coach name? Matt
Rule.
Matt Rule.
Yeah, Matt Rule and Brady, the coordinator from LSU.
I think that's a good fit if it happened before trade deadline in Tuesday.
Yep.
But back to what I said, if they hold on to him, and things get adjudicated, then going into next year, they got many more viable trade partners.
Oh, correct. And we're one of them. Pittsburgh is one of them.
We were really,
and that's where I would love to see him go. If I had my choice, I would love to see him be a Pittsburgh Steeler. It makes the league more competitive. The young talent is there. The defense is for real. Oh my God, Deshaun Watson in the Steeler uniform, man, that's so good for the game, man. It's so good for the game. But seeing him in Miami or Carolina, I would just want to see him play football. And to me, if I was comparing it to something, it's Vince Young, Fisher, all over again. Fisher blackballed Vince Young out of the league, and basically nobody wanted to take a risk on him. And every time he get in, all he did was win. All he would do was throw for 400 yards, and the next thing you know, he's sitting the bench again.
Well, so I think Carolina, the culture of Carolina would embrace him because he's really an upgrade off of that Cam Newton ideology, that the quarterback, and y'all might think I'm crazy, but I think that Carolina would be willing to trade McCaffrey to get him.
They would. I read something about that recently. Yeah, they would.
I think that they would give up. I think they would give up McCaffrey. They would give. They think they got something in Hubbard, that kid from Oklahoma. They think they got the receivers. So I think if it went down, they say, okay, we're gonna give you McCaffrey, our number one pick, and the number two after that. Let's call it even. And I think Houston would go for that because they get behind the marketing of a McCaffrey.
I still think it'd take two number ones, but the Panthers got a young defense. If you get Deshaun Watson, you give up Christian McCaffrey, who's the better player than Hubbard, but he don't stay healthy, and they've kind of learned how to go and win without him.
Yep.
So, if you get Deshaun Watson to go with Chuba Hubbard, that young defense, and that they make it, then you get Houston, you get 2 first-round picks and McCaffrey. You may deal McCaffrey for something else.
Yeah.
That's a good look, man. I didn't think about that, you guys. I didn't think about that at all. That to me is that's a blockbuster, and I think that could really happen. And speaking of Cam Newton, man, don't you think that the Seattle should start looking for a new quarterback? Because obviously this guy that they got over there, he ain't it. Geno ain't it. I just want
they beat the brake shoes off of Jacksonville.
Yeah, Geno looked good today. He hit his first 14 passes.
They beat him down. They beat Jacksonville like they stole something.
Yeah, but still, he's a backup. I mean, I don't know. You need to bring Cam in. You go ahead and just let Geno play for another week or two until Russ gets
Cardinals. I think he has like 2 other. Look at their schedule. I think he got like 2 other games like back to back that are really hard. I don't know that he wins them.
This season is gone for Seattle, man. I mean, so wow. And as a matter of fact, you're gonna potentially have Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson all on the market next year.
Yes,
all on the market. Russ too.
Yeah.
You know who else is on the block is Deshaun from the Rams, the receiver,
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson. I seen he was on the block today. Who could benefit from having him as a receiver?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all lost Juju.
I just want that 4-2 to stretch the field. That's all I need.
Hey, I'll tell you, I wouldn't be shocked. I'm going to call this one as a Big G burner too. I wouldn't be shocked if you see Deshaun Watson in that Kansas City Chief uniform. I would not be shocked.
Deshaun Jackson, you mean, right?
Deshaun Jackson to come in and shake it up and go Jackson with Tyreek Hill and Kelsey. Because they need somebody opposite. Huh?
He played for Andy Reid before.
He did in Philly.
Yeah, in Philadelphia.
Yeah. That's not a
I wouldn't be shocked because they didn't find it in that was suspended all them games that come into, Josh Gordon. They didn't find it in him. They don't have it with McCole Hartman. They don't have it with Robinson. And Deshaun Jackson still, like Tay say, he take the top off the defense. You can't run double zone. You can't run with 3 safeties. Let's just say that.
Outrun it. He will outrun.
No, but what I'm saying is right now they're running bracket coverage with Tyreek Hill to one side, and they're trying to go Kelsey the opposite way. So if you go bracket coverage on one side to double team Tyreek and try to keep him in the middle, if Deshaun Jackson's on that team and he runs a go route, it's 6 of them. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be shocked.
Up, coach. I'm open.
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah, like 3 steps off the line, you see him going like this, because he's wide open. So I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked.
So you guys, man, I mean, so here we are, man. We here in the middle of the thick of things, and in football, and now we have basketball starting. As we saw this science experiment down there that we call the Lakers, what are we thinking about that right now? What's going on in our mind? How are we feeling about the Lakers science experiment that they have going on with Westbrook and Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony, all of the stars that they brought back this year? How are we feeling about it, Tate? You being the resident Laker fan, talk to us.
I just like Laker players. I mean, I don't know. I'm a Laker fan. Magic was my favorite player all the time. I grew up liking the Kobe over his second half of his career, and now LeBron's my dude because Cleveland been my team ever since before LeBron went there. And so, but I think the Lakers, man, they got a whole bunch of puzzles sorting out to do. They got the pieces, but they got to make them fit. So, and I think I said this last week, man. The first thing they got to do, just having DeAndre Jordan, even Dwight Howard in for logging a timely amount of minutes is put you at a defensive liability.
Right.
You know what I mean? They best lineup. What I see right now, you got to put AD at the 5.
Yeah.
LeBron at the 4. Russ gonna be one of the guards. And then you can even go with Avery Bradley. He can open jumper to play defense. And when Trevor Ariza get back. But they got to stop trying to just appease AD and not have him have to bang for some minutes out the game,
You know, I'm gonna tell you, Tate. I disagree with one thing. Russell should come off the bench.
That ain't gonna happen.
It'll never
Russ
happen.
is better coming off the bench.
That ain't gonna happen. You can stagger your lineup to where he get more minutes with the second team, but he gonna be a starter.
Yeah.
Now maybe you have them all start, take LeBron and AD out early, let Russ finish the first and early in the second, then bring them other guys back in, then bench Russ then. But he's not gonna come off the bench.
Right. Yeah. Right.
I just think that I hear you, and you're right. You're not even probably right. You're right, because that's going to upset Westbrook thoroughly. But I just feel like he's better when LeBron ain't on the floor.
Well, that's why I say you stagger the minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right, but I mean, they can play the first 8 minutes together, take LeBron out for 8 minutes, let Russ play another the whole first and first 4 of the second, then bring LeBron and AD back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You separate them as a coach. That you as a coach, you got to know how to do that.
Yeah.
Because not being coaching always X and O's too. It's about working them egos too.
Yeah, right. Man. Yeah, man.
The Lakers full of egos. You got Rondo, you got Russ, you got Carmelo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But one thing I do, like, I don't know why they picked up DeAndre Jordan. I mean, I see Dwight Howard. He's a big body. He's some fouls if you need to go against the Joker or somebody big like that. But
fake tough
Jordan,
guy. He's a fake tough guy.
He's definitely a fake tough guy.
G, what you think about the Lakers team right now?
It's hard road traveling, man. It's hard road. I made a bet yesterday with 2 people that the Lakers will not make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Whoa.
I made a bet with 2 people yesterday. They ain't making it. Because when it comes down to it, and Denver is 100% healthy, and Phoenix is 100% healthy, they will run LA out the gym. Them young boys got them legs, and when I'm telling you they push that ball, they push that basketball, and they push to shoot threes. They don't push to get layups and dunks. They pushing to shoot threes. And LA has no jump shooters. None.
You leaving Utah off?
Yeah, well, the reason why. Now I'm glad you brought that up, Tate, because I got a trade that is a big G burner, and I think that if this trade goes down with Utah, it would set the league on fire. I got a 3-team trade, and I talked about this with my friend Max off screen. I would love to see a 3-team trade between the Utah Jazz, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Philadelphia 76ers. I would like to see Ben Simmons in Utah, Rudy Gobert in Brooklyn, and Kyrie Irving in Philadelphia. If that went down, that would change the complexity of the league. Simmons plays a legit 4 or 5 on a team that's got Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley at the guards. Ben Simmons comes in and plays that post defender to get KD off of that position, and he really doesn't got to score. He's a 10-10-10 guy. He's an upgraded version of Draymond Green. And Kyrie gets out of Brooklyn because he doesn't want to be there into Philadelphia, and you put him with Joel Embiid. If that trade went down, that would change the NBA forever. It would change the NBA forever. I would love to see it. Forever. Because it would change the shift of power. Right now, the way we're headed, Giannis is taking over the league. Whether you like it or not,
over the league.
Giannis is taking over the league. Whether people don't like Milwaukee because they're that little mid team in the Midwest and all whatever else, I'm telling you right now, there ain't nobody assembled right now unless Golden State gets 100% healthy.
Out that trade, I think the loser is?
Who is that?
Utah.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, I agree Ben Simmons could work, but I don't think they get better. I think the other 2 teams get better. I think Rudy Gobert is so much of their identity, the 3-time defensive player of the year. He changes shots at the rim, the rebounding. You know what I mean? He's a bigger difference maker on Utah as he is what Ben Simmons would be. But Kyrie or Philly would be great. They didn't seem to want that trade. And The other one was who?
Gobert to Brooklyn.
Gobert to Brooklyn would be good too, because they need an interior presence on defense. But
Tate, you know something that I think would I agree with you. I agree that Utah would hurt, but I think it would change the structure of the team, right? Because now they would become a running team.
They would
You know what I'm saying? They would become a team that could stride with the young legs right now. The young legs are striders. Everybody's striding. So I think instead of being that power, basketball team that, they can slow the ball down and get it into Rudy, and they don't have to do that. They can just run and get up and down the floor with Ben. So it may work, it may not. Who knows? But I think that's a good trade.
You put Ben on DeAndre Ayton in the West. You put Ben on DeAndre. You put Ben in the West to slow up Michael Porter or Aaron Gordon.
But Ben can't hold the Joker though.
No.
Yeah, he can't hold the Joker. But Gobert can't. I mean, there ain't really nobody out west that can hold the Joker. Really, to be honest, when the Joker wants to play, he gonna get his. There ain't really nobody can stop him. But to slow him up a little bit, because y'all got to remember, Ben Simmons legitimately could have been the Defensive Player of the Year last year.
He probably should have been. But who won it?
Joel Embiid, didn't he?
No.
Giannis?
Rudy Gobert won it.
Rudy Gobert, yeah. I mean, I just like the trade. I think that, and maybe like to make it a little bit fair for Utah, maybe throw a guy's contract in there. Maybe throw a couple of draft picks in there, because Utah has a hard time getting free agents to come play for them. But if now they're young, with a young Ben Simmons that'll be under contract, a young Donovan Mitchell that's under contract.
If it was a 3-team trade and I was Utah and I was getting Ben Simmons and say Patty Mills, I might do that.
Yeah. Or maybe even what's his name? Seth Curry. If you got Seth Curry, you throw Seth Curry in the package. Seth Curry with Ben Simmons to Utah, Kyrie's in Philly, and Gobert's in.
You already got Donovan though. What you gonna do with Donovan?
He's you need a firepower off the bench, and you could go small ball and match up. You go Seth Curry.
Steph Curry and Patty Mills would be bench options, for depth. But if you taking Ben Simmons back, you getting the least amount of point production. So you say, hey, you at least got to throw one of them shooters in, somebody.
Yeah, so throw Seth Curry. You throw Seth Curry, you go small ball with Seth Curry, Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons all on the floor. You match up, you can run, because I really don't believe that, like I said, as currently constructed, I don't give Utah a chance not to come out of the West. I would say if everybody's healthy, it's Phoenix, Denver, and Golden State. 1, 2, 3, however you cut it. And so even with Utah at full strength, they can't get there. They can't get there.
Yeah. Why are you so high on Golden State right now?
They're 5-1, and Clay ain't back, but he's on his way. Wiseman ain't played.
Are they 5-1? They just lost to John Morant.
I'm looking at the standings. Golden State Warriors.
Josh, ridiculous.
Golden State Warriors 5-1. I'm looking at the standings.
So that was their first loss?
Yeah, Golden State 5 with no Wiseman, with no Clay, and with no one of them rookies that they drafted in the top 10. They missing one of them. Wow. And Steph is balling. Steph right now is MVP of the league right now. So you give them full strength, and with Wiseman, with the rookie, and with Clay, woo! Golden State is that thing, man. Golden State is that thing. So that's why I said that you can't. Golden State, Phoenix, and Denver. Oh my goodness, you stand on chance. Because Murray got about 2 weeks, and Murray's back. And you put Murray in that lineup with Denver. Ooh, man.
Right now, Phoenix is at 10 in the West.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys, we coming up on it, man. Definitely. We got any parting shots? I have one, and I'm going to start off. I think the Stros win tonight. I think the Stros win in like a 5-3 ball game. I think they win tonight and force another game, but anything can happen in that next game. Anybody else with their parting shots?
Hey man, we didn't get to specifically speak to it, but I want to know what Big G thought about that Steelers W today.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
You already know I'm like this, dog. But but listen. I'm happy, but I'm mad at the same time.
Why you mad?
Lie. It's the best of times and the worst of times at the same exact time.
Why you mad?
Why am I mad? Because we got a legitimate chance to make the playoffs. And if we make the playoffs, Burger ain't retiring. He ain't walking, man. Burger coming back one more time.
I think he may still retire. I want to talk specifically to the game, though. I thought that fake field goal was ridiculous.
Yeah, bad coaching.
I mean, that shifted the game. That took 3 off the board. Then took the extra point off the board.
Yeah.
Then it kind of forecasted everything you had to do because you were never going to be kicking no field goal.
Yep. I agree totally.
The kicker got hurt, man.
Yeah, right.
But you don't run a fake field goal. You don't do the fake field goal. The kicker don't get hurt.
Right.
So not only do you not get that 3, then you don't get no opportunity to no more field goals because of that, or the extra point that you missed and had you down 10-9.
Right. And they went for 2 twice and missed it both times.
But you know what? That's the kind of win Pittsburgh gonna get.
Yep.
Because it's gonna get grimy, it's gonna get dirty. But the offensive line's finally starting to play better.
Yep.
Now Najee Harris is behind Jamar Chase, is probably offensive rookie of the year.
Yep.
And you're only gonna get more continuity with the line. The defense gonna get stronger when Tui come back. And I like the direction they headed in. We got Detroit and then Chicago. We can't lose either one of these games.
Both games. They winning both. They're gonna win both.
No, come on, calm down. Humble yourself.
No,
they're gonna win both.
What I was about to say was I was actually about to talk about Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields has actually been hurt by the Bears organization. I think they shouldn't have threw him in. They kind of like gave him the keys to the car and was like, hey, we ain't gonna give you no instructions. Just go ahead. And literally I think he's been hurt more than he's been helped this year. So when you said that
he rushed for 100 something. He rushed for 100 something today.
Yeah, but Sean, you running for your life. It don't count when you're running for your life.
That's what happens when you have a coach whose regime is on the hot seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they have brought in a new coach this year with Justin Fields, then you got a coach that got a couple of years to groom him, to work with him. If we go 6-11 this year, I'm still good.
Yeah.
But
Justin Fields was 19-27, 175 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But then he was 10 carries for 103 and a touchdown. So, he, as far as RPO quarterback, he balled.
Big G.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a hot take. Tell me if you agree or disagree.
All right.
CJ Stroud gonna be better than Justin Fields.
No. Maybe on the collegiate level, yes, but not NFL level. And there's one big reason, and I posted it on Facebook last night. This is the Achilles heel for the Buckeyes, and this is my parting shot. This was the whole thing I wanted to talk about with Ohio State. Unless CJ Stroud starts pulling the ball down on RPO option and fake it to Travion and run with the ball, the Buckeyes have an opportunity to lose. He's got to run the ball. If he doesn't run the ball, they are in trouble, i.e. what I've been saying all along, and y'all hear what I'm saying because there was some smoke yesterday with some stuff that Ewers posted on social media, on Twitter and whatnot. They're going to have a package them last 2-3 games when they get close in that red zone for Ewers. They got shut down by Penn State in the red zone because they couldn't RPO you. If he just pulls the ball 1 or 2 times, they score. So for whatever reason, Stroud won't pull it down. Ewers is going to go in the game.
I don't think he needs to take the hits. I think some quarterbacks have enough athleticism to avoid the rush, to maybe get a first down when they need to. But you don't got to involve him in the run game. His threat of pulling it out and throwing a laser like he threw to the tight end in the fourth quarter, then they got the game-winning field goal. That was a dart.
Yeah, I agree.
He throws better with better anticipation than Justin Fields. So I think come another year or two, he's going to be one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks coming out in the draft.
Oh, I agree. I think he has a better opportunity to have a better maybe career at Ohio State as far as like possibly winning a national championship, possibly winning a Heisman Trophy. Absolutely. But I think that the way that the offense is set up for Ohio State, you become better when you play 11-on-11 football. And for whatever reason, Stroud won't pull it and run. And that's
that's because you want him to run, because that's what you want to see from Ohio State. But his presence in the pocket, the way he climbs the pocket and throws darts, dude, the truth, man.
Oh, I'm not saying he's not a scrub. I'm just saying that
that boy Ewers is getting out of there. He transferring.
I don't think so. I think what you're going to see is a package. You're going to see a package with Ewers when they get in close. Ewers is Tim Tebow. That if everybody doesn't understand and know what Ewers is Tim Tebow. When Tebow was at Florida as a freshman and it got down close to the end of the season, they started letting him play.
Big G. If you got a freshman quarterback that has one loss that gets you to the college football playoffs, who knows what you do there, but they get you to the college football playoffs. You telling me him come back to the sophomore, you gonna break that up?
Yeah. No. Well, can I say this? And I've been on this, and Maud will tell you, I've been on Ewers for 2 years. Ewers is the best high school quarterback I've seen since Andrew Luck. He's better than Trevor Lawrence. He's better than Justin Fields. We're coming out of high school to college. He was better.
Did you think Ohio State was going to lose Joe Burrow?
Well, I mean, me and Ma talked about this off camera. Joe Burrow never passed 5th on the depth chart until after Braxton Miller, J.T. Barrett, and Cardale Jones all left from either graduating or going pro.
And he didn't beat Haskins out.
Correct.
So I don't think your boy going to beat Stroud out if he keeps continuing to progress like he's doing thus far. He was the best quarterback at the 11-on-11 camp.
I understand that. But I'm telling you, from a prospect, Ewers is the best quarterback. I'm telling you, since Andrew Luck to come out of high school, I'm telling you, he's really that good.
To Big G's point, before we go, to Big G's point and to Tate's point, I can see both happening. I could see Ewers actually coming in and challenging for that lead job next year.
Yeah,
but I could also see him transferring if he don't get it. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said you're going to see a package.
You know, if Stroud wins the Heisman this year, if he even goes to New York this year, Stroud, I think Ewers leaves. You know what I'm saying? If he goes to New York, there's no way we're sitting down a Heisman candidate, quarterback who's in his freshman year. Yeah, we're not sitting him down. There's no way. And Ewers would go. And I feel bad for the kid, you know, but he's going to play wherever he goes. You know what I'm saying? And to you guys is I'm happy to see Pittsburgh win. My only thing is that defense is so rowdy. That defense is so good. They deserve a chance to get off the field. And God dog it, Roethlisberger. I mean, you're so slow. You're like Frankenstein in the pocket, man. And the tight end, the young Gronk, that guy's going to be good. That guy's going to be really good.
But Ma, did Roethlisberger do anything different than what Aaron Rodgers did on Thursday night?
Every time I think about that, I see Aaron Rodgers' helmet off his head.
Yeah, he controlled the game. He dictated pace. Sometimes quarterbacks just got to do that, man.
Yeah, but
as long as Roethlisberger's is not making negative plays, getting sacked, turning the ball over, we can find a way to win.
I get that. But, you know, all right. So he can game manage, but he's going to have to game manage. And he's going to have to really cut his mistakes down.
I got a question to both of y'all. Steelers win the next two, right? They're 6-2. No, 6. Yeah, that's correct. 6-3. They win the next two, 6-3. They're probably more than likely going to make the playoffs. But do we got a chance?
I don't like talking cocky like that, man, about my team. You're going to
at 6-3, they're going to make the playoffs.
Listen, you know how many teams is bunched in right there at 5-2 and 6-3 and 4-4? Anything can happen.
The Titans.
We still got to play. Yeah. We still got to play the Chargers, the Chiefs, a couple other. We got to play the Ravens twice, the Browns again, the Bengals. You can't just go claiming. I don't like that. That's just my superstition. I'm just saying.
I understand you, but I'm going with the numbers and the analytics. The analytics say if you 6-3, your percentage to make the playoffs is around 750, 0.750. So you got a 75% chance to get in. I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I ain't saying none of that. But more than likely get to the playoffs, they're going to make it. But my question is, can they do something in the playoffs? I don't see it. And I love Pittsburgh, man. Not with the burger.
I don't know. But you guys, man, thank you guys for coming out with us, man, and kicking it with the Know-It-All posse. We are going to be back here, same time, same bat channel next week. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. You can visit us there on Facebook as well. And for the team, man, we love you. Thank you guys for being a part of the Know-It-All Nation. We out.